They were small, fragile, yet more human than we can ever imagine. But one day, they vanished. What really happened to Homo floresiensis, the Hobbit of the human race? Stay with me, because the truth is darker, and far stranger, than anyone expected. They gathered in the darkness, their firelight dancing on ancient stone. Crude drawings of small humans emerged under the flicker of flames. Here, within the cave, they carved their story, not in words, but in shadows and smoke. In the tall grass, danger lurked unseen. A predator's shadow slipped silently, its presence heavy in the night air. The small humans froze, then ran. Under the silver moon, survival meant one thing, to outpace the jaws of death. Thousands of years later, the Earth gave up its secret. A scientist brushed away the dirt, revealing a tiny skull long buried in silence. With awe and trembling hands, humanity met its forgotten cousin, face to face once more. In a sunlit clearing, two worlds collided. Tall Homo sapiens confronted their smaller relatives for the very first time. Silence fell between them, tension thick in the air. The meeting was not of equals, it was a crossroads of destiny. By the river's edge, they found a rhythm. Small hands splashed in cool water, spears striking at darting fish. It was life in balance, survival, community, and simplicity. The river nourished them, just as it had countless generations before. With sharp stone spears, they stalked the forest's wild prey. Working as one, they trapped a boar, hearts pounding with primal focus. Each throw was life or death. Their small frames hid great strength, a lesson written deep in the jungle. When darkness fell, fire became their shield. Around its glow, faces lit with warmth. Stories passed in gestures and whispers. Shadows danced upon the cave walls, echoing their fragile existence. In the fire's heart, they found safety, unity, and hope. In the quiet of morning, small hands chipped stone into deadly edges. Sparks flew as rock struck rock, shaping crude spearheads. Each tool was survival forged in silence. Their world was harsh, but every blade carved a chance to endure. As dusk fell, the jungle shifted. From the shadows, the shape of a predator crept into light. Its massive body moved low, scales glistening in the mist. Fear spread through the clearing. Something ancient, something deadly, was hunting once again. Barefoot and breathless, they tore through the jungle, branches whipping against their skin. Behind them, the predator surged, its eyes gleaming in the moonlight. Every step thundered with fear. The chase was merciless, a desperate race between life and extinction. Huddled in a rocky crevice, they clutched one another in silence. Outside, the beast's shadow passed across the cave mouth, its breath echoing in the night. Torchlight flickered against terrified faces. Survival was not victory, only a temporary reprieve. Then the island itself stirred. Beneath their feet, the ground groaned. Smoke billowed from the mountain's peak, a fiery glow bleeding into the sky. The earth shook violently. Nature, far greater than predator or prey, was preparing to strike. From the mountain, rivers of fire poured into the jungle. Trees burst into flame as molten rock swallowed the land. Panic filled the air. Humans fleeing the inferno. Under a crimson sky, their world burned, a paradise turned pryzo. Smoke filled the sky, choking their lungs. Children coughed at the cave mouth as chaos raged outside. Ash turned day to night. The clan huddled close, clinging to life. Survival was no longer about strength, it was about breath itself. Weak and trembling, they searched the earth for roots, their hands clawing through soil that gave them almost nothing. Hunger hollowed their bodies, despair weighed down their eyes. Nature had turned cruel, and every day became a battle against emptiness. In a sunlit clearing, history unfolded. Tall strangers appeared, their weapons gleaming in the harsh light. For the first time, small humans looked up at their towering cousins. Two species stood face to face, one destined to survive, the other to fade. Silence wrapped the jungle as the two tribes stood apart. Spears raised, eyes locked, tension hung heavy like the still air before a storm. Every heartbeat threatened to spark violence. Yet for a brief moment, time froze in fragile suspense. Then it erupted. Spears clashed, cries tore the air. Dust rose under the midday sun. The small humans fought bravely, but they were outmatched. Against the tide of taller invaders, their struggle was fierce, chaotic, and drenched in blood. When the dust settled, silence screamed louder than battle. Bodies lay scattered across the ground, the earth drinking their blood. Survivors ran into the jungle, fear driving them forward. For those left behind, the story ended in tragedy and loss. Deep within hidden caves, the survivors lit one last fire. Their leader, weary and broken, held a child close. Shadows swallowed the walls. Hope flickered dimly. In their eyes, fear lingered, the knowledge that they were a people fading away. On the cold stone, they carved their story, tiny figures etched in flickering firelight. These drawings became their final voice, their last attempt to be remembered. Every line told of survival, of struggle, of a species refusing to vanish without a trace. Weak but desperate, they ventured out one final time, spears lifted, steps unsteady. They chased prey they could no longer outrun. Exhaustion clung to their bones. Their hunt ended not in triumph, but in failure, a mirror of their fading existence. Gathered around a dying fire, the last of their clan sat in silence, faces worn, children clinging to mothers, men staring into flames. It was a night of sorrow, of unspoken goodbyes. The end was near, and they knew it. Then, silence. The jungle reclaimed their world. Tools rusted into the soil, memories buried under leaves and time. Where once voices echoed, now only birds called. A species had vanished, leaving nothing but whispers in the silence of the forest. Beneath the ash, a skull lay hidden, small, fragile, yet defiant against time, half buried. It waited centuries for eyes to see it again. Its silence spoke louder than words. Here lay a forgotten branch of humanity, lost but not gone. Generations later, hands uncovered the past. An archaeologist brushed away the soil, the tiny skull emerging into sunlight once more. Awe filled the air. What was once thought myth had become history, the Hobbit humans revealed to the modern world. In sterile light, science took hold. Scans revealed every curve, every fracture of the tiny skull. Rotating holograms projected its story into the future. The lab became a bridge, connecting a forgotten people with the cutting edge of modern discovery. The world gasped. Headlines flashed across newspapers and screens. Hobbit humans found. Excitement swept across continents. For the first time, humanity realized its family tree was stranger, more mysterious, and more crowded than anyone had ever imagined. But wonder gave way to debate. Scholars argued. Voices clashed. Theories collided. Were these truly a new species, or simply small humans shaped by hardship? Fossils became weapons of opinion, and the truth grew more tangled than ever. In pursuit of answers, fragments were tested, machines hummed, screens lit with streams of data. DNA held secrets locked for millennia. Scientists searched for proof, hoping to solve the riddle of who these small humans really were. Some said volcanoes doomed them, others claimed predators ended their reign. Still more believed conflict with Homo sapiens sealed their fate. Theories circled like vultures, yet none gave certainty. The mystery of their disappearance only deepened. Yet on the island, whispers linger. Villagers tell of tiny figures seen at dusk, darting through the jungle. To them, the Hobbit humans never truly died. Their stories keep alive the possibility that some may still walk among the shadows. On misty nights, some swear to see them, a fleeting silhouette, small and fast, vanishing into the trees. The jungle hides its secrets well, and whether real or imagined, the shadow keeps the mystery alive. Driven by legend, explorers push deep into Flores. Flashlights cut through the darkness, sweat trickling down faces. Step by step, they venture into uncharted depths. What awaits them, discovery or disappointment, no one can say. Returning to the ancient caves, modern lights replace flickering flames. Stone walls watch silently as explorers enter. The air feels heavy, as if the cave itself remembers the lives once sheltered within its shadows. A beam of light sweeps across the wall, revealing forgotten carvings, tiny figures etched in stone, unchanged for thousands of years. In that moment, the past reaches out, reminding us that these small humans once lived, dreamed, and endured. On camera, a scientist speaks with conviction. Fossils behind them stand as silent witnesses. Their words attempt closure, but mystery lingers. For every answer, new questions rise. The story of Homo floresiensis refuses to be fully explained. Volcano, starvation, conflict, theories fade one into another. Images overlap, each telling a possible truth, but certainty remains beyond reach. What ended their story may never be known, and that uncertainty is what keeps the mystery alive. A question mark glows on the stone. pulsing with mystery. It asks what science cannot answer. It whispers of secrets buried in earth and time. It challenges us to wonder, what really happened to the Hobbit humans? Above the jungle, silence reigns. Treetops stretch endlessly, golden under the fading sun. No voices call, no fires burn. Yet in this quiet, their spirit lingers, woven into the land that once carried their final footsteps. In the mist, a silhouette flickers and fades, small, human-like, gone in a blink. Was it imagination, memory, or truth? The jungle swallows the answer. What remains is only the haunting possibility that their story is not yet finished. Darkness falls, jungle sounds echo faintly, fading into silence. Then, across the void, words appear. What really happened? The question remains unanswered, an eternal mystery hanging in the shadows of history. A single skull turns slowly in the spotlight, golden light catching its fragile form. It is not just bone, it is memory, a puzzle piece of humanity. Their story closes here, but the mystery endures forever.